I'm Jim Longworth, and welcome to another edition of Triad Today. Coming up later on, our infamous roundtable gets together. Among other things, we'll make our picks on the congressional primaries that are coming up on May 8th, so stay tuned for all that. Now, between now and then, some great guests, important information coming your way. We'll give you some tips on cancer prevention. We'll also tell you about a fun summer camp that's coming up, and we'll talk about a program called Youth in Transition, a very important program. All that and much more coming your way. But first, we start out talking about bike safety at, as it seems, a very appropriate time, and I'm going to figure out and learn why it's an appropriate time with these two very appropriate guests on my immediate right. You've been here before. Corey Phillips is a project manager for Kids Zone at Crumley Roberts Attorneys at Law, and next to him our good friend John Hamblin, who is coach and director of something called Velocious Sport Junior. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
Did I get all that right? Yeah. I have to go to John first on this and say, John, now the Velocious, that's a term for what, fast?
Fast, speedy, yep.
Why don't you just call it the fast group?
Well,
This is fancier, though.
yeah, it does,
Yeah.
and it also applies to velo, like velocipede is a bicycle.
Yeah, that's
so.
right. That's right. Good velocity. That's a good name, though. It's cool. Now, there's a special month. We talked about this is a special month for bikes anyway, right?
Yeah, Bike Safety Month, that's right.
Yeah. And what is that? Well, there's either a hurricane coming or something's gone off on his beeper. Is it off now?
Yeah.
This isn't the middle of a race, you know, John. This is a TV show.
There's a heart rate monitor going off, is it?
Right. Now, why is this a special month to wear a bike helmet then? Or any month is?
Well,
Why?
anytime it's a special time to wear a bike helmet. I mean, it's prevents head injuries, dramatically when you're wearing a helmet. When you're riding a bicycle, you tend to fall and go head first into the ground or barriers, whatever.
Right.
And it can do some serious damage.
Now, I don't know if we have a picture of this or not, but I think one of Corey's friends, Ruth, or somebody sent over something of a kid on a tricycle. You're really never too young to have a helmet, seriously, right?
Oh, no doubt. And you got to get them used to wearing the helmet early on so that as they get older, it's not a thing, like, oh, I don't want to wear the helmet. They have to wear it early, and then they're used to it, and they continue doing it.
We didn't practice this or rehearse anything, but I'm just curious, John, is there a law that requires that if I'm out, I know you do a lot of racing and special events, but if I'm just out enjoying myself, am I legally required to have a helmet on, or is it still optional?
For adults, no. For kids, it is a law, yeah. But okay. For adults, it's your choice. But, of course, we recommend you do wear a helmet.
Absolutely, absolutely. I want to turn to Corey now because Corey doing Kids Zone events everywhere, and we want to mention that. But the Wheels on Greenway that we talked about before on this show, if you're watching the program either Saturday or Sunday morning, there's a time to get out and enjoy the Wheels on Greenway. Tell us about that event and how you're going to be involved.
Yeah, we're really excited. We'll be hosting a big Kids Zone at the Moorhead Park area in Greensboro. That's Sunday from 2 to 4, free to everybody. Bicycles, tricycles, skateboards, wheels of any sort. Like John said, let's wear those helmets. But the idea is educating folks, families, singles, adults, kids about bicycle safety and having fun with it. At Crumley Roberts, we certainly care like family, and I can't think of a better way than spending a Sunday with our extended family and having some fun on National Bike Month.
Yeah, why are you guys so involved in bike safety, education in general? I mean, why is that so important to you?
Well, at Crumley Roberts, our sole purpose is to stand up for folks when they can't stand up for themselves. And so how do we take that message into the community beyond just our law firm? And like John said, helmets save lives, period. And so that's a way for us to get out into the community, fit kids properly with helmets, get them used to that habit of putting that helmet on. And then, kids just want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. And so this is a good way to start that trend.
Absolutely. Now I want to put up on screen the Wheels on Greenway just to make sure we reinforce this. Sunday, 2 to 4 p.m. Again, if you're watching Sunday morning, you can get out there, Moorhead Park, and you can go to downtowngreenway.org/events if you want to find out more about that. The Crumley Roberts website is also up on screen, crumleyroberts.com. For our radio listening audience, that's crumleyroberts.com. And finally, velocious-sport.com. Is that right?
That's right.
Please go to that. Lots of neat stuff. And I know you're doing some racing events on Tuesdays. Where? Tangle?
We are. The Herbalife plant over just off Union Cross Road and at the Dixie Fairgrounds, Tuesday nights.
Doing lots of stuff.
We are.
Check out those websites, everybody. And did your beeper ever is it still on?
Yeah,
you
well,
can turn
the
it
heart
back
rate came
on.
down. So.
Yeah, that's right. You can turn it back on now. All right. We'll be right back after this. Triad Today. I always like it when this gentleman stops by. I think it embarrasses him when I call him an expert, but he is a wellness expert. And the reason we have him here is because we want to talk about a topic that scares a lot of people. It's maybe the scariest word in the English language, cancer. Here's a gentleman who's going to help us understand more about this and maybe some preventative measures as well. Dr. Bill Satterwhite is Chief Wellness Officer at Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center. Welcome back to Triad Today.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Glad to be here.
What can we do to lower our risk of getting cancer?
Yeah, probably the first thing I would say is that roughly half of all cancers are preventable. Half of all cancers are preventable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So we could practically go out of business if everyone did stuff that kept them from getting sick, which actually is our goal, right?
Right.
How could everyone be healthy so we go do something else?
Right.
So those are things like limiting tobacco, staying out of the sun, being active. Your diet impacts that. All these are things that impact our risk, our likelihood of getting cancer.
You know, I've talked to people before, and I guess I'm included in this group in certain ways, that are afraid to go to cancer screenings of one kind or another because they don't want to know. They don't want to know what the outcome is going to be.
Correct. That's one of the reasons.
One of the reasons. Why are these, and you can elucidate on that if you want to, but my other question for you is why are these screenings so important?
Yeah, so some screenings are very important because they really are the only way to truly find out if you are in the early stages of cancer before lots of your body parts start to break down. So easy examples are mammography and colonoscopy. And a lot of people don't get them because they're not that fun. You know, they're inconvenient, I don't have time, I'm afraid of what I'll find. Any of those things can be part of why people are hesitant to do it. But yet they're amazingly effective at noticing things before they get too bad.
You know, I was reading one day in the paper about that Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center has one of the top cancer centers in the nation. And so I'm going to ask you sort of a weird question. A, is that accurate?
Yes.
And B, if so, why?
Yeah, so we are very fortunate that we have one of the few certified National Cancer Institute's comprehensive cancer centers here. There are only 40 in the U.S. That comes about because of a lot of things that a place like Wake Forest Baptist Cancer Institute is doing. So that has to do with patient care and outcomes. It has to do with research. It has to do with the way people are treated and how well that goes. So it's a pretty rigorous list to make that team that says this is a group that's really above the norm.
Right.
And people who have cancer who come as patients to a National Cancer Institute designated comprehensive cancer center,
Right.
that's kind of the name for it, they actually do better than people that go to one that's not.
That makes sense. And what about, you mentioned cancer research. Any one thing, there's so many things, but before we run out of time, any one thing you might want to bring up?
Yeah, many things. I'll tell you one of the most recent is a $9 million grant that we got to really try to study aggressive brain cancers. In general, the medical world has not made much progress against brain tumors. And so we said, you know what, can we spearhead that to see how can we make a dent in that?
And before, again, one thing I want to ask you about, because we opened sort of, you talking about preventative things. Let me go back and say, are there preventative programs that you share with the community?
Yes, actually, yeah. So our dermatology department every May gives free skin screenings to people. Last May we did 300.
Right.
That's particularly important for people like me who have skin without much color and who I have real no natural top on.
Yeah, right. Right.
Yeah,
well,
I'm always operating with a sunroof now.
That's all right, but you're so fit. You know. So people can take advantage of these things, and I hope they will. And up on screen is wakehealth.edu/cancer. And for our radio listening audience, let me say it again: www.wakehealth.edu/cancer, where you can learn much more about this. And Dr. Bill Satterwhite, thank you once again for bringing us some good information. Appreciate it. We'll be right back after this. Now on Triad Today, we welcome a first-time visitor to the show, but she has some great information for us about a very important topic, and we turn to her right now. On my right, Karen McKinney is Director of Youth in Transition Program at Crossnor School and Children's Home, located in Winston-Salem. Good to see you.
It's good to be here.
Thanks for doing what you're doing. And let's tell the folks at home what Youth in Transition means. It's not just a title for you, it's a program, it's something that's very special. What is Youth in Transition?
Youth in Transition is a program at Crossnor School and Children's Home that works to empower young adults who are aging out of the foster care system to be thriving and independent adults.
Because once they, and you can keep, folks can live there at the school, at the home, until what age?
You can stay up to 21.
All right. And so then a lot of times, and this is true of anybody, whether in a foster home situation or just anywhere, you know, young folks, I know how it is for me, you come out of a school situation or whatever, you're not prepared for everything in life anyway.
Right, right.
So, I mean, that's how you're helping them, right?
We work 14 to 26. So we actually work a little bit older than a lot of people think when they hear youth in transition. But we start young with some group work, but then walk alongside adults as they try to navigate that. It's tough to transition from.
It is. Now, how long has the program been up and running?
About 6 years.
Okay. Now, I'm curious, and I know there's a million things that you're doing to help the kids in transition, youth in transition, but give me some examples of ways that you can, specific examples of ways that you help them.
Sure. We work really hard. We walk alongside them, and there's some things like our housing. There are improvements in housing and
Where
stability
they're going to
in
live,
that
they're going to
area.
get an apartment or not, or
And just life skills. Like how do you? It's good to get an apartment, but how do you keep it? What do you do once you have it? Or when you have a job, how do you keep that? Like it's one thing to just make it through the interview, but then how do you manage your boss? Or
work ethics.
Work ethics and navigating moving through your career, things like that.
What kind of outcomes, and I know you said 6 years, and maybe it's too soon to know, I don't know, but what kind of outcomes and feedback do you tend to get on the program, both from the youth or maybe from employers or people in the community? What kind of feedback, what kind of outcomes are we looking at?
Sure, our data shows actually we did hire someone from Wake Forest to take a look at what we've been doing.
Okay.
And it shows that they stabilize in their housing the longer they stay with us. So that means they move fewer times. They also, their work hours increase as well as their pay.
So they get a job and they keep a job.
Longer.
Yeah, longer.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I just think that what you're doing is great. Now, is there any way that the folks who are watching the show here can support Youth in Transition as a program or be involved?
Absolutely.
What way?
We do have a volunteer coordinator at Cross North School and Children's Home. If you're looking to volunteer, you have some gifts you'd like to share. We are looking for employers who want to step into this space and help our young adults, give them a shot, and who would be willing to communicate with us as they see things and engage in some job coaching and stuff like that.
And we didn't rehearse this right now, I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you even help in maybe trying to facilitate job interviews and things like that too?
Absolutely. We're partnered with Goodwill as well.
Oh, great.
And they're huge in that. They're experts.
That's just great.
Yeah,
I want to put something up on screen, and I have one other quick question I want to spring on you here. Crossnor.org is the website that I want to make sure everybody sees, and go to that and find out all sorts of great information. My personal question to you is, I'm always curious with a first-time guest, what led you to a career in working with young people?
That's a great question. I love watching people move towards their dreams, and that's how I got to where I am. Because this group of people, as they move, they're the strongest people that I know, and to walk alongside them as they move towards their dreams it's a privilege.
Well, I just appreciate everything you're doing for them and for the community. It's very special.
Thank you for having us and helping us get the word out.
My pleasure. Thank you, Karen. We'll be right back. Now on Triad Today, and we're always glad when this young lady can stop by and tell us what's going on with Randolph Community College, but specifically a big summer camp that's coming our way. Next to me, our good friend Wanda Beck, Director of Workforce Development, and she wears lots of hats too in addition to that at Randolph Community College. Welcome back, my friend.
Thank you.
Summer's just around the corner, so tell us about the Armadillo Adventures Camp, and in case people didn't hear about it last year, what is it?
All right, this is our second year doing it. It is a summer camp for 8 to 14-year-olds. We offer different classes every week, and it's either morning classes 9 to 12 or afternoon classes 1 to 4. And it's running for 4 weeks this summer.
Now, we talked about this was the second year.
Yes.
How is this camp this year going to be different from the camp last year? In case somebody went to the one last year, they could come to this one too, right?
Absolutely.
Well, how is this one going to be different?
Last year we did Monday through Thursday, but we also had a lot of parents and students who said they wish we would do it 5 days. So this year we're doing it Monday through Friday. As well, we are partnering with Creekside Park in Archdale, so we are going to be offering classes at Archdale as well as Ashburn this year.
Wow.
And we have some new classes which we are really excited about. We have some robotics classes, a class to teach kids how to do landscape painting, and drones class. They actually get to take home a drone.
Take home a drone?
Yes.
Oh, my Lord. Now,
cool.
now give me an example of maybe a popular course that's going to come back from last year.
Okay, the Minecraft Modders was very popular. Basic hairstyling and nail art. We had comics and cartooning. There were kids who absolutely loved that class.
I bet. Now, what are there age-specific activities available? Because when you said age is 8 to 14, I
Right.
know if I'm a 14-year-old, I don't want to be in a class with an 8-year-old. So how are you going to do that?
Yeah, we have classes that they're either 8 to 11 or 11 to 14.
Okay. And now let's remind everyone of the dates of the camp this summer. Tell me if I'm wrong. We can put this up on screen. It's going to be the weeks of June 25th, July 16th, July 23rd, and July 30th. Those
That's
are the
correct.
4 weeks that this is going to be going. It's not an overnight stay camp, though, right? Let's make that clear.
That is correct. It is not.
Day camp.
Day
Come
camp.
in. All right.
Yes.
Now, also, I want to put up on screen, it might have been on there a minute ago. Let's go back to it. In case our radio listening audience wants to hear this, again, www.randolph.edu gives you general information about the college. But if there's a question you have about the camp, you can call 336-633-0268. Did I get that right?
That's correct.
Now, I want to shift gears while we still have, Brian, how much time do we have left? A couple minutes? I want to shift gears here and talk about something that has nothing to do with the camp, but you sent me an email one day saying, let's talk about this new therapy program, this massage therapy program. Now,
Yes.
tell me about that.
Yes, we are offering therapeutic massage. There is going to be a orientation on Friday, May the 11th from 10 to 12 o'clock at the Randleman Center. It's actually going to be at the Randleman Center. The classes, the first class will start June the 4th, and it's going to be a day class. But we
So
do
that's
plan,
coming up soon.
It is, but we do plan to offer evening classes as well, but it will be later in the fall.
And these people, ostensibly, they'll get the orientation, they'll go through the course, and then does this lead towards some kind of a certification and getting full-time jobs as a massage therapist? Or, I mean,
That's
this
correct. If they pass the NBLEX, they will be licensed massage therapists. That's
Right.
correct.
And when they pass it, can they come here to the studio while you and I are on the set and they can just give me a shoulder massage? Is that?
I'm sure, yes.
Probably can do that, yeah. All right. If we have just a few seconds left, I want to go back to the summer camp thing. The weeks of June 25th, July 16th, July 23rd, and July 30th. I hope people will check that out and call the number 633-0268 because the Armadillo Adventures Camp is really something very special. And you're getting good feedback from last year, right?
We had great feedback, yes. The parents loved it, the kids loved it. They just wanted us to do it 7 days a week.
I bet. I bet. They'd probably like to just stay there overnight.
Yeah, I'm sure they
We're
would.
going to give out your home number and they can call and ask you about it.
Let's go.
All right. Wanda Beck, you do a great job. Thanks for all that.
you.
We'll be right back after this. Today, just about time for the round table, and I'll do a shout out to some folks, special folks in the control room. You can't see them, they can see you, I guess. 3 folks from Parkland High School, students, broadcasting journalism folks. We're glad to have them. All right, a shout out to our friend Ogie Overman, who's still recovering from surgery. He's at home. And so filling in for Ogie on my immediate right, the Honorable Mayor of High Point, Jay Wagner. Next to him, the Honorable Sheriff of Guilford County, B.J. Barnes. Next to him, the Honorable Keith Granberry, who is founder of Helping Hands Consultants, seriously doing a great job with getting people registered to vote throughout the country. And I don't know, just a quick thing, I don't know if you know this, Jay, but BJ told me privately that when he decides not to be sheriff anymore, he's going to run for mayor of High Point. I don't know if that means
That's fine.
it's a democracy.
Absolutely,
Yeah. All right.
absolutely.
I've spent my time in here.
Yeah. No, he's not going to do that. Okay. All right, we're going to do a quick rundown, not really, I mean really quick on this. Last week we featured Democratic primary candidates coming up. They're going to run against each other on Tuesday, May 8th, in the 5th, 6th, and 13th congressional districts. So I'm going to give you your names and go down the row here and you guys say who's going to win. In the 5th district, the Democrats running against each other, Dee Dee Adams, who's a once councilwoman, former school teacher Jenny Marshall. Who wins that one, Jay?
Adams.
BJ.
Adams.
Keith.
My girl, Adams.
So you know Dee Dee
I
Adams.
do. She's
okay.
great.
Now we go to the 6th district, people who, Democrats in this race against each other on May 8th. Business consultant Ryan Watts or Greensboro trucker Gerald Wong. Jay.
I'm not sure it matters, but I'll go with Watts.
Because you think that Mark Walker's going to go back in anyway.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. BJ.
I agree, Watts.
Yeah, Watts.
And then in the 13th district, where Ted Budd is the incumbent Republican, these two Democrats are running head-to-head against each other on Tuesday. Greensboro attorney Kathy Manning, Greensboro trucker and cattleman Adam Coker. Jay.
Manning.
Manning.
Coker.
You're going to go with Coker on that. And just a quick thing, we mentioned Virginia Fox in the 5th District is an incumbent, but she actually has 2 challengers running against her in her primary, Dr. Cortland Meter and Dylan Gentry. Either of those 2 gentlemen have a chance at unseating her in the primary, Jay?
I don't think so. I had to look them up on the internet.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I
don't
called
think
them
they-
one day. They said, we're not here.
Virginia's done a good job. No.
Yeah.
I don't know about a good job, but she's not going to lose.
She's not going to lose. So just a quick reminder,
what your mother
everybody.
said.
That's
Be
right.
nice.
That's right. Right.
No, yeah, no
Great
commentary
job.
on that. Anyway, just a quick comment to everybody: get out and vote on May the 8th. We hope you'll do that on the primary. Now, going to a serious topic. Let's go down to our regular topics here. We now know that the Waffle House shooter who killed 10 people had been in custody before, and his dad promised police he'd lock up the weapons. The dad ended up giving the guns back to his son. Should the dad do hard time in prison as an accomplice to murder? Jay?
Well, I think obviously if he's broken the law, then he deserves to be punished for that. And I think it has to do with where he gave the guns back, whether it was Illinois or Tennessee. But of course, the bigger issue, was it right to do what he did? And he gave guns back to an obviously mentally unstable person.
Right.
So definitely wrong thing for
What do
him
you think,
to do.
Sheriff?
I don't know that he broke the law in any way, but I can tell you that civilly he may be in danger. I mean,
Civil suits from the
yes,
victims.
exactly.
Keith?
Yeah, I mean intent. I mean, you can't get him in trouble for giving him back.
You agree with BJ? Though
I
the parents
totally
that
agree
commit-
with
the
BJ.
family members. Of
Oh
the
yeah,
victims.
he's in trouble that way, but he's not going to get any criminal trouble.
All right.
And he shouldn't.
As of last month, North Carolina had a surplus of $600 million. Coincidentally, that's the amount of money that Jay has in his personal bank account. Anyway, North Carolina.
I wouldn't
had
be sitting here.
No. Well, thanks a lot. Golly, man, get some money. He's not coming back. Anyway, we have a surplus of $600 million. Guys, the question is this: should that money be spent, or should it go into a rainy day fund in case we have another recession or a natural disaster? Quickly, Jay.
I think that you should at least put the vast majority of that in a rainy day fund. There are needs, though, across the state that we could apply them to.
All
I
right,
agree with Jay. There is needs across the state that need to be addressed, but we also need a rainy day fund.
Keith.
I disagree with both of them. I think you got to put money into. There's homeless people. There's schools. Right now, we need to invest in the people right now.
Put $600 million now and spend it.
Spend it. Spend every bit of it.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, very quickly on this one. American students are ranking way behind other industrial nations in the world in reading, science, and math. Way down. I mean, way down. 24th, 25th, 40th in the world. Quick question, guys. Should we do what most of these countries are doing and expand our school year from 180 days to 220 days? Jay?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No. I like my summer vacation too much.
Yeah. All right.
I don't have any problem with the time they go to school. I have a problem with what they're teaching. They need to be teaching more of the basics like reading, writing, arithmetic, and go back to making our students a little smarter.
Keith.
I think I'm with the sheriff on this. I think number one, these underperforming schools, they need more resources, and giving them more time when the teachers aren't teaching
Ain't
them
gonna make any
is
difference.
not going to make any difference.
The United States Senate recently amended its rules so that Senator Tammy Duckworth could bring her infant child into the chamber during a vote. Workplace nurseries are okay, guys, but you think it's okay to bring kids into the actual workspace, not just politicians, but anywhere? Jay?
I don't think it's a problem with an infant. I think when that infant gets to be a middle schooler, they're probably going to want to rethink it.
Yeah.
Is Rosie the Riveter? No. But it's in a situation like this where there's really no harm, no foul. I mean, it's got to be on a case-by-case basis.
And there are a lot of infants in Congress, too. So that's Keith,
Okay, I'll go with that.
I don't think that you should be able to bring infants into that situation. I think there should be a place for them to be, but in terms of bringing them into that environment, I don't think that's the place.
It is definitely a bad environment for
Yeah,
them.
it is.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And finally, guys, according to a report posted on eternallysunny.com, that's a real website, the best way to cure an earache is to heat up a sock filled with salt and press it to your ear. Guys, have you ever put a sock on your ear, or do you think it could ease your pain? Mayor Wagner.
I think that I'm surprised that didn't come from somewhere like the Onion.
Yeah.
And
It's a true story, though.
Yeah, it may suit you better to take the sock full of salt and just whack yourself on the head with it.
All right, Sheriff.
I've never had a sock in my ear, no. No.
Keith.
Does it count if somebody hits you with a sock?
Yeah,
with some
that's what
salt
the
in it?
mayor was going to do.
Well, then okay.
mayor was gonna do.
I think it's.
All right, guys. All right, interesting responses to this. That's all the time we have, except for this. Some Amazon warehouse employees in the UK are so afraid to miss their production quotas that they reportedly go to the bathroom in a bottle while working. That might explain the headline in the company's quarterly report, Amazon makes number one. So,
Okay.
Where did they find this?
All
I didn't
right.
make that up. I don't really understand it. But anyway, for all of us here at Triad Today, I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next week.